for your advice, sir.
She is pretty dense.
Puppet Princess is an anime that I found totally by mistake, as it was wrongly classified as being horror, as many anime and movies are, because the genre is so vague now that anything with a monster in it just gets thrown into the category of horror. But I thought this would be like really stupid, but there was just something about it which drew me to it, and after checking out a few seconds of this, I knew I wanted to watch it and that I needed to make a video about this. The story is honestly just one of your run-of-the-mill tales of revenge, but there's a twist here which makes it much more enjoyable, as this is set in some sort of steampunk feudal Japan period with ninja and samurai, and we have our protagonist Rangiku, who is the daughter of a warlord who had some sort of obsession with Western inventions such as clocks with all the gear work and everything. So he started making these puppets with the gears and everything on the inside, and he was making them, and he got to the point where he made one that was so good that it didn't need a puppet master in order to operate, and that's probably because he was using the skin of babies as springs on the inside. And yeah, that's actually part of the story, folks. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, unless you're making anime, I guess you can come up with some pretty weird stuff, but nobody else in the world is thinking like this. I mean, I hope nobody is, but what I'm thinking about is that this is actually a comedy, and it's pretty funny outside of that one part there, which is kind of extreme, but thankfully they don't dwell on that too much. But because this guy is creating these immortal ninjas which can't be killed, the neighboring kingdom just raids them and steals it, killing everybody except for Rangiku, and that is where our story begins, as Rangiku is on her journey for revenge. And to help her out on her journey, because she's not the strongest person, she's trying to find a legendary ninja.
You're a very skilled ninja, sir.
Hey, wait a sec. How can you stand there and say that when you're the one who saved me? Are you trying to make fun of me or something?
I gotta tell you guys, I was pretty surprised by how much I laughed at the first half of this movie, because we had the character dynamics which worked so well. We had Rangiku, who seemed totally clueless of the world around her, and also we had Manajiri, who was this self-deprecating ninja that acted like he was just lower than dirt and not really worth anything whatsoever, and the interaction between the two was actually pretty funny, because there were several times like when Rangiku went to bow down and she had this massive, like, unexplained backpack on that appeared to weigh nothing to her, and she's just a tiny little girl, and she bows down and almost whacks Manajiri over the head with it.
Sir Munajiro!
My name is Manajiri! So you're after revenge? Quit while you can!
I'm not certain how much you'll require for your services, but this is all I have. Isn't there any way I can convince you to reconsider helping me, Sir Munajire?
My name's Manajiri.
I was also thrown off to one of these classic cliche anime moments, which I can't show you because there's nudity, but we have Rangiku who's bathing out in the open, and we have Manajiri who tries to run in there and have his way with her, and she's like, hey, yeah, come on in. Do whatever you want, I don't care. Who does that? Now, as for Rangiku's massive backpack, which she carries around like there's less than nothing in it, we learn what's in there when they're both attacked by ninjas, and she uses Manajiri as some sort of distraction so that she can pull out this puppet controlling device, which she uses like her fingers and toes on, which I thought was really cool, the way that she pulled this out and just like transformed, and then her backpack starts like opening up, and there's a giant wooden gear puppet samurai on the inside. And by the way, we learned that it's not only one, she has like 5 of them in there somehow, and she still managed to carry them even though they're all made out of wood, which is going to weigh a ton. So she's controlling them and just owning everybody here. So not only is it just so absurd with the comedy that we have, but the action is also pretty fun too. So as I said in the beginning of the video, there was one thing about this anime which really drew my attention to it and made me check it out, even though I didn't think I would like it at all, which I'm glad that I did give it a chance, by the way. That one thing is seeing pictures of the ninjas being cut in half with all the clockwork and gears and everything on the inside. I thought that was really cool, being able to see that level of detail. I thought it was something that was very creative, especially in times where the skin is breaking and you can see all of the gears and everything through their skin. I thought that was really cool and that I needed to check it out. And I found something that was surprisingly entertaining. It was something that found the balancing point in between hyper-violence and also comedy at the same time without leaning too much one way or the other. And the violence here, you actually see a lot of blood here. You have characters which get like the front parts of their head cut, and you can see on the insides of their head like that. Of course, there's talk of babies getting their skin torn off, which is kind of, you know, it's crazy in its own right, but I felt like this was somewhat of a parody of anime at the same time, because they did some cliche things within anime, but they basically turned them on their head and basically turned them in directions which you wouldn't expect from watching other anime. I thought the fights were pretty fast-paced and animated fluidly, as we have all of these ninjas just jumping all around, and we have our puppet samurai and other puppets just going back and forth, cleaving them to bits and jumping in the air and fighting. And then of course we have a Manajiri, who does some pretty cool stuff from time to time as well. This is a movie which I watched with the English dub, mostly because I didn't think I would like it, and I thought the dubbing might make it a bit more palatable, but going back and looking at it, of course, I mean, it's no surprise when I say this, but the original Japanese audio, they definitely did a much better job with the acting. If I ever rewatch this movie, which I probably will, for one, because I actually enjoyed it, and two, because I might want to show a friend or something, then I would definitely go back and watch it with a sub instead of the dub that time around. Overall, Puppet Princess falls into the category of one of these anime that you'd probably rate maybe a 6 or a 7. It's definitely not the best, but because of its charm and creativity, I think it's something that many of you would enjoy. Plus, nobody ever really talks about this. I've never even heard about it, and I thought it was going to be really dumb till I tried it, so I recommend Puppet Princess. No, it's not the best thing out there, like I said, but it was a pretty fun movie. For only like 40 minutes, it's definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the review, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below, and also be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next time. I'll see you then.